Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Ethereum. So if you guys enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing we want to do is see what Bitcoin's doing, right? This is what defines what Ethereum could be capable of in the next few weeks. What's Bitcoin doing? Well, it's back down to around 18.3 at the time of this video. And we've talked about, we've talked about in prior videos that this range here is still fine for Ethereum over the next couple months, and say going into the first quarter of the year, as long as Bitcoin holds these levels, right? I mean, even if it were to drop down a little bit more, I think this is fine as long as it doesn't have an immediate retrace to the 20-week moving average. So we know the risk associated with Ethereum, right? This is not financial advice. You guys, I mean, I think you guys understand that, but you understand the risks associated with crypto, you understand the risks associated with Ethereum, and then the altcoin market. Now, this move over here, which preceded a fairly impressive Ethereum move, started off like this as well. Okay, so we had a fairly similar move that started off in the same exact manner. We showed this in a prior video. Seven green candles up, weekly time frame 7 up, red, green, red, red, green, red. The red one had wicks pretty high above and pretty high below, then a green candle taking us back to the top, then a red candle taking us back to the bottom. If you draw the bottom corresponding to this red candle here and go over, same thing, right? And we're back at that same level around 18.1, 18.2. And even with this movement, let's switch it to a linear scale so you can see the similarities here. But even with this movement, this could still precede a nice Ethereum gain on Bitcoin. This does not exclude the chance that Ethereum will have a good first quarter against Bitcoin. As we've showed before, Ethereum tends to do well in the first quarter against Bitcoin. This move started January 6th. Okay, other moves also started. This one started January 2nd. This one started January 11th. This one here started sooner. It started December 11th, but still went into January. This one started in mid-December and then rallied up into January. So these moves, we still have not even gotten to the point, historically speaking, where it has moved, right? There hasn't been a single year, and this is our 6th year. So in the past 5 years, there has not been a year where Ethereum started rallying this early in December against Bitcoin. It's always happened in mid-December or early January. Now, if you look at, say, this move of Ethereum, let's go look and see what Bitcoin was doing. So Bitcoin was moving sideways throughout June, moving sideways in the early part of July, and even the end of July. When did the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio break out? Well, the end of July. So Ethereum broke out against Bitcoin. The end of July, how many weeks had it gone sideways? Once it got to this point, it had been going sideways for about 12 weeks. Okay, about 12 weeks before Ethereum broke out against Bitcoin. And that happened right here. If you take a measured move, it moved up to the peak, 55% against Bitcoin. This was this past summer. And it took Bitcoin going sideways at this level for 3 months, almost 12 weeks. If you look to see where we currently are, we have a pretty similar pattern. I know a lot of people would like these moves to happen immediately, but they sometimes take time. So if we were to draw out, we're 3 weeks in. To give you an idea, if we were to go to, say, the beginning of January, that would be 7 weeks in, okay? And then 10 weeks in would take us till the end of January. So again, the entire thesis is that Ethereum tends to have a good Q1 against Bitcoin, and that Q4 tends to be down against Bitcoin. Historically speaking, Q4 tends to be down. Right here, several times, every single time. I mean, every single market cycle, Q4 has been bad for Ethereum against Bitcoin. This is just the way it is, and the turnaround point does tend to come. And I think there's still a good chance that it will come this first quarter. We've seen before that the rally can start before the first quarter, but hopefully, if Bitcoin can remain somewhat bullish, hopefully that'll happen. So the thing that could essentially make all this likely not to happen in the short term would be a huge Bitcoin capitulation. Okay, now if Bitcoin has a huge capitulation over the next 5 or 6 weeks, and it's basically just trending down, then I don't think many of us would expect Ethereum to be gaining on Bitcoin during that time. It would be reminiscent of 2019 when Ethereum trended down, when Bitcoin trended down from July 2019, and it really didn't have a major macro move back up until March. So approximately from the top, it took it about 38 weeks before it really started a momentum shift back up. Okay, 38 weeks. So in the event that Bitcoin bleeds significantly back to the 20-week, below the 20-week, we have no misconceptions that we would think Ethereum would outperform Bitcoin during that time period. Again, we've said Ethereum, there's a risk associated with holding crypto. If you're not holding Bitcoin, there's even a higher risk, but you take on that risk, or I take on that risk on the chance that we see a higher return with it. And the problem, again, is that there's so many scenarios where Bitcoin would perform better. If Bitcoin volatility is going up really quickly, if Bitcoin's going down very quickly, a lot of these different scenarios, if Bitcoin's hugging the 20-week, a lot of these scenarios, Ethereum will bleed against Bitcoin. But in fact, what we want to happen is a sideways range-bound movement for Bitcoin. And this can be, plus or minus 10 to 15%. From this bottom to this range-bound area, it moved up 13%. So it would go up 13%, and then it would come back down. So it was a pretty wide range there in terms of percentages. From this point up to the top, this is only about 6.82%. We could, you could argue that this could be all the way back down here and closer to say 17K, and still you could argue that this might be range bound for Bitcoin. So I think that in terms of a projected Q1 move for Ethereum against Bitcoin, we're still seeing the theoretical groundwork being laid, right? Theoretical groundwork being laid. And what I mean by theoretical is that it's not completely laid, it's not completely down yet. We don't exactly have all the pieces, because it's ultimately going to depend on whether Bitcoin comes back and tests the 20-week, or it goes sideways. Okay? And if it goes sideways, like it did here, then I think, again, this is not financial advice, and we'll see what happens. But I think, again, there's a chance that we could see the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio continue to rally on, and then we might look back on this and say, okay, well, it was just business as usual sideways movement for a couple months before Ethereum really got kicked off against Bitcoin. On the other hand, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't want to make anyone think that I do or pretend that I do, because I don't know what's going to happen in the short term. On the other hand, if instead what happens is like summer of 2019 where we come back down, then again, we would not expect Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin in the short term. So again, this is a long game to play. If you believe in the extensive bull market potentially lasting several years, if in fact you think we're in the bull market, the multi-year bull market, if you prescribe to that, then there's going to be several times where Bitcoin rallies, but Ethereum does not rally against it if it doesn't sustain a sideways movement for a significant period of time. Right here, Bitcoin rallied up to 14K, but it just turned right back around and went down. And because of that, Ethereum never really had a chance to rally against Bitcoin. It never really had that chance to rally against Bitcoin, simply because Bitcoin never was really moving sideways during this period like it did over here after this rally. So if we see this rally turn into a sideways movement, then I think Ethereum is still theoretically in business for a Q1 move against Bitcoin. If instead we come back down to the 20-week moving average and test that as support, then as long as we're testing that as support, I would anticipate Ethereum not having a substantial move against Bitcoin. So these are the risks you have to take if you want exposure to the crypto market. Again, there's no free lunch here. There's no guaranteed short-term ROI or anything like that. It's a calculated risk. We'll see if it pays off. We'll see if Bitcoin can go sideways at this level and sustain it. If it can, we would expect Ethereum to move against Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes back down to the 20-week, we would expect continued bleeding against Bitcoin. But so far we're still in this macro upwards channel that we've been looking at on the channel for a very long period of time. Right, we're still here. And it's business as usual. So if you guys like the content, remember to subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 70,000 subscribers. We also do have the Black Friday sale going on. I think we're going to end it here in maybe 2 or 3 days. So make sure you sign up for that if you want access to the premium content, weekly reports, weekly videos, alerts channel on Telegram chat room, risk dashboard, trading view indicators. Check out the Black Friday sale. You can lock in the lower price. We'll have that going on for maybe 3 more days. Subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.